Hello.
We can hear you, Anandji, but can you turn on the camera? We can't see you.
We are able to see you also. We are able to see him.
1 minute. I think it is.
I can see him.
Yeah, we are seeing him.
Okay, okay. Fine. Please proceed, sir. Yes.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Vasdevi. The main speaker of today, Dr. Sarada Natarajan ji, Directors of Meditation and Study Circle, Vani ji and Vasdev ji, brothers and sisters, and friends. My pranams to all of you. It was really a great honor for me to come back to the Meditation and Study Circle to be with you all today, to participate in the festival of self-awareness. So many festivals are arranged, like Mango Festival, Jackfruit Festival, like that. But a very few arrange a festival on self-awareness. Let us immerse ourselves in the pleasure of this festival, because God has been described as Satchidananda. So, Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam, Nandati Nandati Nandatyeva. So let us all join together and enjoy in this festival. My hearty congratulations to the directors for completing 41 years in the life of this Meditation and Study Circle. I was fortunate to come in contact with the Reverend Sri Krishnamurti ji and Srimati Rukmini Krishnamurti ji. We were together for some time and we have done a lot of work together. Mr. Sri Krishnamurti ji had a lot of love for me. He used to call me at 8 o'clock in the morning and talk to me about how to live a spiritual life. Daily at 8 o'clock promptly he would talk to me. Similarly, he used to arrange retreats periodically and give an opportunity to the persons to attend that retreat and get benefited. In 1979, he started this Meditation and Study Circle, and it went on and has been carried on by the present directors. I want to share with you one very personal thing. Sri Krishnamurti ji was passionately committed to the success of his mission through Meditation and Study Circle. I was there at his deathbed. He was not leaving, the last breath was not leaving for some reason. Srimati Rukmini Krishnamurti ji, Vani ji and myself, and I think Mr. Vasudevan also was there. We were all there, and then we could make out that something is worrying him. Immediately, Srimati Rukmini Krishnamurti ji and Vani ji guessed that he is having some feeling or apprehension that the organization may not continue. Then the promise was given to him, and immediately he became peaceful. He was so much committed to this one, and at the same time, personally, he was following aparigraha to the maximum extent. I remember an instance on one of his birthdays. I went to his house and gave him a small packet of 5,000 rupees, requesting him to get one long coat stitched for him. He used to look glorious and majestic in the long coats, but he refused. But when I insisted, he said, let that amount go to the Meditation and Study Circle. He was so pure in handling monies. And now God has blessed this organization with continuance. because for 41 years it has been going on until to go on forever. May God bless the organization with all the glory and success in all their efforts. Thank you very much for calling me and giving me an opportunity to join you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shri D.N. Anand sir. It is a great joy for us to have you with us because
Thank you.
you are like a part of our own family. I've always felt very comfortable interacting with you, talking to you, because you're very authentic in expressing what you feel. And we feel very blessed to be in the company of an evolved soul like you. And thank you so much for sharing some of your personal moments with Sri S. Krishnamurti and Srimati Rukmini Krishnamurti.
I must thank you very much, madam.
Why we say very formally Anandji and all that, very affectionately, he is Anand uncle to both of us.
Yes, actually we call him uncle. But I feel a little funny to say Anandji, but because of the formality of the occasion,
I do not find adequate words to express my joy at the love and affection you are having towards me. And
thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
But for both of you, this organization would not have grown to this extent.
Thank you for your good wishes. We are only nimitta because...
Please accept my hearty congratulations on this happy occasion.
Thank you so much.
It's a blessing for us, an elderly person, a well-wisher, a very good friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And we are also very, very joyful in inviting Dr. Sarada Natarajan. Dr. Sarada is a dear friend and she is a spiritual stalwart. She is the president of Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning. And I think most of you are familiar with her. You have listened to her several times because whenever we invite her, though she has an extremely hectic schedule, I will not use the word busy also, it is hectic always. She makes time to come and share her wisdom with us. She has dedicated her entire life, all her skills and talents, everything to the cause of spreading the wisdom of Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi. And I think Bhagwan must be rejoicing at finding such a wonderful instrument because she is a Carnatic musician, she is a Bharatanatyam dancer, she is a writer, a poet, a wonderful orator in English, Kannada, Tamil. And she is a very dynamic person who is able to lead an organization founded by her father. She has a team of youngsters and senior people also who contribute as joyfully as she does to the cause of spreading Bhagwan Ramana's message. So I'm so happy that Sarada is there to share our 41st anniversary with us today. Welcome, Sarada. And the topic on which she's going to talk is the self is awareness. The self is awareness. Sarada, over to you.
Your mic is off.
Thank you. Namo Ramana. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as the self in all beings. Before I go on to the subject, I would also like to express my gratitude to the Supreme Force, which in my life has come in the form of Ramana predominantly, and Ramana has taken me to various spiritual aspects of life. That force I am thankful to for the beautiful symbiotic relationship which he has given between Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning, Bangalore, and the Meditation and Study Circle. And I'm very happy that today we have the guest of honor, Sri Anand. In a different way, he is also known to me from many years. I think he had been associated with my father, Sarada Natarajan, and my brother-in-law's father, Sri Gauri Shankar, very intimately, if I remember right. And that's a great honor that he is there today to bless my offering as well. And the meditation and study circle, our parents, Vaniji's parents and my parents have met, and Vaniji has a good memory of our visiting them and offering some, maybe singing some songs. I do not remember. My memory is not that sharp, but I do have a memory of visiting them and having that, being blessed by Sri Krishnamurti and Rukmini Krishnamurti ji. And it is indeed it is a standing testimony to their dedication that the organization has been sustained for 41 years and is growing from strength to strength with the dedication of Vani ji and Vasudev ji. And that is their blessing. I see that clearly even in our organization, that the founder of the organization and the strength of vision of the founder of the organization carries forward the organization. This is my personal belief. I believe that whichever organization it is, the founder of that organization and that power, because the vision comes from that founder, and that it from time to time finds vehicles for fulfilling its own purpose. So right now in meditation and study circle, the Mahayajna of offering two sharings every week without fail has been happening, and it is something amazing. We cannot actually comprehend the magnitude of such a happening, because small things also do not happen. Just like that, they do not happen. We may plan, but they do not happen. And the fact that it is happening reveals that there is the blessing of the Supreme on this endeavor, and beautiful work is going on. And I have been associated with the organization myself for the last few years, going over for giving talks and also participating in their yearly annual the retreat which they have. It's a very beautiful event, and I'm sure all the participants must be missing it this year. The camaraderie, the oneness, the family feeling, and the love with which both Vani and Vasudevji intermingle with all their associates in this center is something very beautiful to see. And with that, I will move on to the topic of the day. Ekamaksharam hridi nirantaram bhasate swayam likhyate katham Hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahmamatram hyaham aham iti sakshat atmarupena bhati hridi vishamanasa swam chinvata majjatava pavana chalana rodhat atmanishto bhavatvam deham mrinmayavat jadaatmakamaham buddhirna tasyasyato naham tattadabhavashupti samaye siddhatma sadbhavatah koham bhavayutah kuto varadhiya drishtatmanishtatmana soham spurtitaya arunachala shivaha purno vibhati swayam. These are verses of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi called the Muktakatrayam. Soham spurtitaya arunachala shivaha purno vibhati swayam. Arunachala Shiva shines in all fullness, spontaneously, as the very self. Swayam, by itself, as itself. Purno vibhati, shines in all fullness, says Bhagavan. Now, for us, this is what is self-awareness. We talk about self-awareness. And why do we talk of self-awareness? Because we are aware of what we may define as non-self also. Only if we are aware of something which is non-self, do we have to talk about self-awareness. If there is nothing other than the self, if the self alone is there, and there is automatically awareness because the self is by nature awareness. By nature it is consciousness. By nature the self is consciousness. It is not insentient. It is not non-knowing. So if that alone is there, then why would we speak about self-awareness? We, however, have to speak about it because we seem to have, at least we feel we have, what we think is an awareness of the self and an awareness of something which we believe is not the self or the world or the other. I think there are others, I think there is a world, and I think they are not I. They are not I myself, they are others. There are things, there are people, there are living beings, there are the 5 elements, the Ashtamurti as Bhagavan says in Upadesha Saram, there are 8-fold manifestations, and all these, what do I think they are? Do I think they are all the self, or do I experience all of them as the self? No, I feel they are not the self, not the self. So then the question arises of being self-aware. If there is something which is self and something which is not self, I have to be very careful to understand whether I am really experiencing what is my true nature as the self, or am I by some freak, some accident which is called Maya, or which is the divine design which is called Maya, whichever way we look at it, for some reason have I taken the non-self to be the self, in which case I must try and understand what really is the self. That's why we are pursuing the path to self-awareness. So when I say I want to become self-aware, the question will arise as to who is this I really? What is the self really? And we have the great one, the scriptures declare, and what the scriptures declare, Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi has given us in capsules, in 30 little capsules, which is called the Upadesha Saram. And in that, he has one verse which says, Vigrahendriya pranadhitamaha Nahameka sat tajjadam hyasat. He says the self is one, eka sat. It is the existence, it is the truth, that is the self. But that ekasat is not vigraha, it is not the body, indriya, it is not the five senses, it is not prana, it is not the breath, it is not it is not the mind. It is not the mind and intellect. Putting together, Bhagavan puts it as one unit, calling it dhi. And it is not darkness, tamaha. Vigraha, indriya, prana, dhi, tamaha, na aham. These are not I. These are not I. Because they are all jada. They don't have, they are not the awareness, they are not the consciousness. So what is the self? The self is only that which is conscious. Only the consciousness is the self. The awareness is the self. Because without that awareness, what would we know? What would we be? Any of the other things which we take to be the I, we are saying it is not I because it is not having its own consciousness. I would invite Ujjwal Jagadish to come and help me today in a small little presentation which I was wanting to make. Ujjwal, are you here?
Yes, let me present the screen.
I don't see you. Maybe the others see you. It would be good if I could see you, but I don't see you.
1 second. Yes. Can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you now. Thank you. So now Ujjwal and I, we will have a small interaction. This is actually a game which we play. A game which we play even with children or otherwise a small little interaction where Ujjwal will show us some slides pertaining to what we take, normally think we could be this or that, and I will ask him some questions relating to that. So Ujjwal, can you start? This game is called Who is the Master of the House? Who is the Master of the House? Now, say I see someone, and what I am seeing now are a pair of eyes. I hope everyone else is seeing them as well in the presentation. So we see this pair of eyes. This is what I see when I see the person. And I ask these eyes, oh eyes, are you the master of the house? Are you the person? And what do the eyes answer?
No, I am not the master. I am just a CCTV camera which captures the shape and the size and the color of the various objects which come into my vision, and I just report it to somebody else who is my boss.
Okay. Then is there anyone else who can answer me? Knock, knock, knock. Oh, you are the ears? Are you the master of the house?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just a voice recorder. I just capture the sound that I hear and I report it to my manager.
Okay. Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, this is the nose. Are you the master of the house?
No. I'm just a gateway. Through my gateway, the good air, the oxygen enters the body, and the bad air, the carbon dioxide, leaves me. And when the dust comes into my into the gateway, I just sneeze and throw the dust away. And I can smell good smells too, and I just report the smell to the manager.
Okay, thank you. Who is next? Knock, knock. Can somebody answer me? Oh, you're the mouth. Are you the master of the house?
I am just a gateway too. Through me, all the food that the body needs enters through me. And I am only a part of the huge system which nourishes the body.
Okay, so you're not the master of the house?
No, but I can speak to and I can listen to the commands of my manager and give commands to others and respond to their queries.
Oh, okay. Can you introduce me to somebody who may be the master of the house or who
Okay,
somebody else who's in charge here?
let me try.
Okay, you are the hand. Are you the master of the house?
I'm the one who is covered with a beautiful membrane called the skin. And I can feel the touch of different things in different people, and I can feel cold and heat. But I am not the master of this house.
Oh, you report to somebody else?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so can I see who else is here in this house? Oh, there is this brain. Okay, are you the master of the house?
You can't say so. I have an important responsibility to take care. I give commands to various subordinates, but I am not the master. There is somebody else who I report to, and I just collect the information and process it and have it ready for my master.
Okay, so none of you are the master of the house.
No.
Then I was wondering the breath which you said, which we cannot see, there was the nose told us that there is a breath which comes in and goes out. Could that breath, which we are not seeing, could it tell me, is it the master of the house?
The air, I am only a guest to this house. I just come in for some time and I just go out. So I am not the master. You can call me a guest.
You are a guest. So who else is there? So the prana, the body, which has been represented here by the brain. Okay, there is some other part of the body, the heart. Is this
Ah,
also, are you the master, oh heart?
I am a very vital part of the this house called the body. I circulate all the nourishments, all the oxygen to all the parts of the body, and I take away the bad, the waste of the body. I collect the carbon dioxide of the body and throw them out of the body. I'm very important, but I can't say I am the master.
Okay. So you receive your commands from somebody else. You
Yes.
receive your command from the brain, and the brain also doesn't acknowledge being the master. Okay, who else is here? Oh, the liver. Are you the master?
No, no. I am a part of this huge system called a digestive system, which helps in nourishing the body and taking away the waste. I am not the master. I am only a servant.
Okay. Who else is here? Knock, knock. Can somebody answer me? Oh, the kidneys. Are you the masters of the house? The twin
We
masters?
are we are not the masters too. We just help take out all the unwanted things from the body and throw it away. We are only the servants too.
Okay, so basically, you're all helping in keeping the house going, but you're not the master. Am I
Yes,
right?
you are right. You are right.
Okay, then can you introduce me? Who else is there in there? Am I not seeing anyone who's there? Oh, okay. There is the skeletal system. Are you the master of the house?
We are a team of 206 members, each one in different shape and different sizes. But we are not the master. We protect the vital organs and we give a shape to the body. And one more thing which we do is we create the red blood corpuscles through our bone marrow. That's it. We only help the body house to work well.
Okay, so you're like the what they call a structure of the house. They have nowadays they have the steel grids and there are so many new things coming up. Vaniji might be able to tell me about the architectural structures better. But you're something like that in the house, right? But you're part of the house. You are not the
Yes.
master.
I am not the
Okay.
master.
Who else is there? Oh, you the thoughts, the emotions. Ah, I think your thoughts must be the masters. The thoughts are the masters. The thoughts are the ones who live inside this house, aren't they? This is an emotion. Somebody is laughing, the laughter, the laughing emotion. Are you the master?
No, no, I am not the master. I only come when there's a joke cracked, or I only come something is funny. But I'm not the master. I'm just a guest. I just come in only sometimes, and just I leave as soon as the joke is over.
Okay. Okay, so who else comes in when you're not there? Oh, sorrow. So, sorrow, are you the master? Are you the mistress?
I'm not the mistress. I only come when things do not work or when things do not happen the way I want. When things makes me sad, I only come then and I just leave when something beautiful happens.
Oh, I see. So, joy is not the master, sorrow is not the master. They're all guests. Are there many more guests in here?
Yes, I am one of the guests. I am anger. I just come when something is irritating me and something is not working, and I come all the time, but I leave after some time.
Okay. And who are the other guests? Disgust.
I'm the disgust. I just come when I don't like something. When something is which is disgusting, I just appear and I just leave too.
You leave also. You're not disgusted. The master is not disgusted all the time. Okay. And wonder.
Yes, I appear when I see something wonderful happening, but I just leave after some time.
So, how many of you are here?
We are many of us. We come in different shapes and different sizes and different durations, but we all leave. We are all guests in this beautiful house.
Okay. So you're the guests, right? So the master must be someone who remains when all of you are not there, or when you are there, also the master must be there. Is the master the one who invites you all in and who sends you out, who knows you are there? Is he the master? The one who can discriminate whether you this is right or wrong, this is true or false, whether you are here or not here. Is that the master? Is the sense of discrimination? Is that the master? Is the one who says, I know something is here. I know something is right. I know something is wrong. I know something is true. I know something is false. Is that the master?
I am the discrimination. I am a very, very strong power given specially to human beings. And I am the one who tell which is right and which is wrong. But I am not a master too, because I only appear when I feel that there are things which are right and which are wrong.
Okay. Even supposing I ask you, there is no right and wrong, just a thing is there, and the master, there is someone who knows there is a thought. There is someone who knows there is a feeling. There is someone who knows there is a body. Someone, something, whatever that is that the master? Is the knower the master?
For a knower to be there, we should have something to know. We need to have an object to know the object.
Okay.
So if there is no object,
So you are
no
saying
knower, so
the master, you, the knower, are not the master, because the master becomes a knower only when there is something to be known. When there is nothing to be known, does the master still exist? Probably the master exists even when there is nothing to be known. So the master is not a knower. And is the master then a non-knower? If nothing is there to be known, there would be just darkness, there would be just emptiness, isn't it? So is the master that emptiness into which things come and go? Is the master mere emptiness? Can the master be mere emptiness? Na shunyam, purna sat, Bhagavan says. Na, the tamas did not answer because it cannot answer. It has to be silent. There is no one visible there, there is nothing visible there to answer us. However, we know that the tamas is also not us. The darkness, the non-knowing is not us, because we recognize the non-knowing of deep sleep. Thank you, Ujjwal. Let us go over these once again. Point which Bhagavan is saying is Vigraha Indriya Prana Dhi Tamaha Naham. This is all not I. This is not the master. This is not the awareness. They are known. The body does not know itself. It performs some function, and we know that function, or we do not know that function. We think the self, I think I am a body. But the body does not call itself I. The vigraha, the indriyas, the five sense organs do not call themselves the I. The eyes which see, the ears which hear, the nose which smell, the mouth which tastes and speaks, the hands which touch, they do not call themselves the self. Who is it? Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi asks, who says I? Who says I? Not the body, not the senses, not the breath which comes and goes. It is not even there permanently. It comes in and it goes out, and it comes in and it goes out. The prana. That is not the I. How can it be? And then the thoughts with which we are so closely, our identity is interwoven, all the emotions with which we are so interwoven that we think, I am happy, I am sad. We become that very emotion. We become the sorrow, we become the joy, we become the anger. We completely lose sight of everything when that emotion is there with us. But if we were to just pause for a moment and ask, who is this thought I? Bhagavan says the answer will come. It is not I, because this thought is my thought. It is for me. It is only a guest. Every thought of mine is only a guest. It comes, it goes away. There is no thought which stays with us permanently. So nothing, no thought in the mind is permanent. It is not the self. Then who am I? Who am I? Then am I that buddhi, that discriminating faculty which recognizes that I am not the body, which recognizes that I am not the prana, which recognizes that I am not the thoughts? Is it that? We can say yes and no. Let us first say why we say no. Because we say it is not the intellect, because in the absence of something to recognize, there is no knower. If there is no thought, there will be no thinker. But do I exist in the absence of thoughts? This is the question which Bhagavan asks us to put to ourselves. Naham tat abhava shukti samaye. It does not, we do not cease to exist in deep sleep. when there are no objects to be known, when there is nothing to be recognized, we still exist because we are able to wake up after sleep and say, I slept well. We are able to record the non-knowing. But what do? We record the non-knowing, and when we record the non-knowing, we again identify ourselves with the knower. When we record the fact that we had slept and I did not know anything when I slept, what do I say? I now know that I slept and I did not know anything. So I am now this person. However, that is not true, because if I am this person, I could not have become that person who is absent in sleep. I cannot be 25 persons. Can we be 25 people at the same time? Can we be the body plus, is the body the same as the Indriyas? The body is not the same as the Indriyas. The Indriyas are not the same as the prana. The prana is not same as the thoughts. And each thought is different, and there are millions of thoughts. If I am to be any of these, or if I can be one of these, it's not possible, because each one is passing, coming and going away. If I am to be all of these, can I say that I am a million people at the same time? Do I feel I am a million people split into million entities? One angry entity, one happy entity. Actually, there is a Ramayana, a Punjabi granth, which has been written by Guru Gobind Singh, a Ramayana, in which Ravana's 10 heads, each has a different emotion simultaneously. So he's those 10 people at the same time. We feel we are like that sometimes, but are we really like that? Deep down, do we not all feel that we are just one person, one entity, not a million entities? So we cannot be any of these. So Bhagavan says we cannot be any of these. We cannot be even the knowledge. Jnana varjita ajnana hina chit. It is not knowledge, and it is not non-knowing either. The self, which is awareness, it is just pure awareness. It is just pure awareness. It is only consciousness. And everything else is added on, or appears to be added on. We can't even say it is added on, because when there is nothing apart from it, who is to add what to what? So nothing is added on to it. However, when due to some power of illusion, when we see things as divided, then the way we need to get back to the self is to hold on to our true nature as pure consciousness. Ramana says, through inquiry, through the power of inquiry, when we ask ourselves, who am I? When do we ask ourselves, who am I? When we have recognized that all this is not I. All this, anything which I claim is I is not I, then who am I? And when I ask myself, who am I do not ask myself with a ready-made answer in hand. Because if I have an answer, why should I be asking myself the question? Those questions are called rhetorical questions. Does the sun rise in the west? If I ask, it's a rhetorical question. Everyone knows the answer, no. Does the sun rise in the east? Everyone knows the answer, yes. So that's not a question. It's just a mere way of phrasing it, a rhetorical question. But the real question, where does the sun rise? If I do not know, then I have to search. I have to search. And I may say, I may try to follow. Or where does the sun set? If I do not know, if I really do not know, then what will I do? I will try and follow the sun. Keep following it around the globe. Keep following it, and then realize there is no setting for the sun. There is no rising for the sun. Similarly, Bhagavan Ramana says, follow this notion of I. See, where is this? What is this which says I? Who am I? Or where from does this sense of I arise? Every time you say I to yourself, from where am I saying this? Who is saying it? From where is the sense of I-ness? The sense of I-ness. Try to watch and thereby understand the sense, the core of your own being, says Bhagavan. And when we recognize this, when we realize it for ourselves, then it will all be only that. There cannot be anything apart from it. And we see That this is what Bhagavan says in his compositions also. He explains to us what is it, you people, I mean anybody, he will never say you people because there is no other person for him at all. It is I who am using that phrase, but there is nobody else. But he says very spontaneously, he does use the word sometimes, jnani, ajnani, he uses that word. And in that parlance, he says that चित्र शोभिसूति हुदु तेरे य मेले तेरे यु चित्र दोಳಿದೆ ಎನ್ನುವ ಪ್ರೇಕ್ಷಕನು ಆತ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಹವಿದೆ ಎಂದು ಅರಿಯದೆಯೇ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ್ಮವಿದೆ ಎನ್ನುವ ನರನು. I say I am inside this body, I am Sharada. ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ್ಮವಿದೆ ಎನ್ನುವ ನರನು ಆತ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಹವಿದೆ. The body is inside the self. Everything is in the self. There is only the self, and the self is consciousness. Therefore, there is no Jadavastu if one recognizes that it is all just consciousness. And this consciousness does not see or become aware of itself as an object. Normally, when I say I am Sharada, it is awareness of being Sharada. It is awareness of something. It is awareness of. Therefore, there is one consciousness and there is one self. So there is a division between the self and consciousness. But this division is an illusory division, says Bhagavan Ramana, because he says, Sattaya hi chit, chittaya hyaham, Sattvabhasika chit kvavetara, Sattaya hi chit, chittaya hyaham. Sat and Chit are not different. Shiva and Shakti are not different. That's why in Arunachala they are seen as Ardhanarishwara, the oneness of Shiva and Shakti, and how that consciousness and the existence are the same, which is Shiva and Shakti. Bhagavan says that is a mystery. You experience it. It cannot be explained in words. But the point is there is no other than the self to be conscious of. So if we are conscious of anything, that is not the self. If one is conscious of anything, that is not the self. The self is just awareness. It is just consciousness. It is itself. And how does this manifest? If we want to see, we can see in the life of Bhagavan that he is living amidst us. He was living amidst us like one of us. But any question put to him, the answer is always that there is this undivided self. There was a lady who came and asked him, you say there is one consciousness. Do you mean to say that you and me and my servant who is standing nearby, we are all one? Do you mean to say we are all one? And he said, I, you, your servant, and the monkeys you can see outside the window, we are all one in one consciousness. One in one consciousness. Okay. So she said, you mean, how can you say the monkeys are also one? He didn't tell her, but he told another devotee, why the monkeys? The stone slab which you are sitting on, that is also one, that is also full of consciousness. Because when everything is in consciousness, how can it be apart from that? And the way he treated each and every being, whether it is the monkeys or the dogs or the cow Lakshmi or anyone for that matter, the same way he treated, from which we can understand that is how it is, that is how he sees everything. He would not allow a single morsel to be given to him which was not shared equally with everyone. Somebody brought a slab of chocolate. There were 40 people, one slab of chocolate. 40 little pieces have to be made of the chocolate. When he was suffering from sarcoma, what happened? There were different medicines brought for him. So many types, Ayurveda, allopathy, then Siddha, then some other cure, nature cure, everything. And how many medicines can a person have? Even one type of medicine, if the doctor tells us, have one before food, one after food, one in the midday, one in the evening, we sort of go mad trying to keep track of the medicine itself. One single medicine maybe. And imagine so many medicines. So he simply said, okay, because I have to please all of you. You will feel bad if I don't take the one person's medicines. If I don't take, that person will feel bad. If I don't take someone else's medicines they have brought, they will feel bad. Do one thing, mix it all up. And I will take one spoonful every day. Now they all got worried because, one medicine will not agree with another medicine. And that is how it is. When there is duality, once Vani told us very beautifully, there is a duality within us itself. Our own mind will keep disagreeing with itself. One part of my mind will say go, it will say, other part will say no, this is not the right time to go. One will say meditate, one will say get up and do some work. So there is duality all the time. So it won't agree with each other. There will be clashes. So what will happen if Bhagavan takes this medicine? Everyone was worried, but he was insisting, mix that and give it to me, mix it, I'm telling you. Then suddenly somebody had a brain wave. They said, fine Bhagavan, we will mix it. But the thing is that everyone should have an equal dose of it. Everyone should have, because you insist on equality, right? All of us will have it along with you. All of us will have one spoonful of medicine every day. So then he said, okay, fine. He was silent, he gave up. So the consciousness is one. What does it mean? It means that in expression also it is there. It is not just that, it is not something intellectual. It is not something which somebody finds for himself or herself. It is the universal truth, says Bhagavan Ramana. If it was for me, it would not be the truth. Since it is for everyone, it is the truth, he says. So that is what it is. And we can experience it in every moment of our lives. Bhagavan says it is the simplest thing to experience. Very simple. Atmajnanayanito sulabhayenu saralavo. ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯಿಂದ ತಿಳಿಯಬರುವ ಜನರೇ ವಿರಳವೋ. ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಎನಿತೋ ಸುಲಭ ಏನು ಸರಳವೋ. ಆತ್ಮವು ಅತಿ ದುರ್ಬಲನಿಗೂ ಸತ್ಯವಾದುದೋ. ನೋಡೆ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿಯ ನೆಲ್ಲಿಕಾಯೆ ಮಿಥ್ಯವಾದುದೋ. ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಎನಿತೋ ಸುಲಭ ಏನು ಸರಳವೋ. ಆತ್ಮವು ಅತಿ ದುರ್ಬಲನಿಗೂ ಸತ್ಯವಾದುದೋ. A person may be weak, a person may be stupid, so-called stupid. A person may have different limitations, but every one of them is as the self. Everyone can say I. Everyone knows I am. I am. There is nobody who does not know I am. And supposing I were to say I am, I do not exist. How can I say I do not exist unless I exist? So it's a fallacy. The non-existence is a fallacy. Existence is the truth. It is the self, and it is experienced by every one of us. But what do? Instead of experiencing the self as consciousness, I am Sarada. I attach something to it. So I attach something. He says there is this body, it is not saying I. This body, Deho Najanati, it is not saying. Poor thing, it is not, actually many of us say, all because of this body, I tell you. The body consciousness. The body part is the body consciousness, it doesn't do anything. It is the consciousness linking itself to the body which is the problem, says Bhagavan. Deho Najanati, Sato Najanma. The self is unborn. It does not say, I am, I know, I do. It does not say anything. It is, and there is nothing apart from it to declare anything. So it is. It just shines as aham, maham iti. He says, no, aham, maham iti sakshat atma rupena bhati. It is just shining, shining. So what is it this is saying? What is it that is saying? I do this, I am this, I am the body. He says, deha pramane. Anya udeti, there is not something, some mysterious link which is born, chit jada granthi, it binds the chit, the consciousness, with the jada, the body, and it becomes one knotted entity which says, I am the body. And from there, what all happens? Bandha comes, samsara comes, everything, the world comes. Because I have said, once I say I am the body, finished. Then everything else is not I. There is a world which is not I. There is this which is I. And even in this, there is something inside me which is I. There is something outside me which is not I. Oh my God, all the complications start. Aham kriti granthi. There is this knot. And how do we disentangle the knot? How do you untie a knot? You have to, if there are two threads knotted together and we want to untie them, the easiest way is if we find one end of the thread somewhere, then slowly we can disentangle it. So the finding of the one end of the thread, he says there are two ends to this knot. Catch hold of the real end, the source. He says one end is the body, right? I am Sarada has two aspects. It has I am and it has Sarada, which is the name and form. Question this name and form part by asking, who am I? How can I be Sarada? I can't be Sarada. Then who am I? When we question, since the body part has been cut off through the inquiry, who am I? What remains? Only the I am will remain. It is the scent of consciousness, says Bhagavan Ramana in his Aksharamana Malai. He says, Nyamalir keda nan yennurudiyal nadi ninnuruve narunachala. Am I worse than a dog? He says, am I worse than a dog? A dog is able to trace its master by the scent of the master, just the scent. The dog may not know how the master looks, whether the master is tall or short or how much he is weighing. Nothing the dog knows, but the dog has the scent of the master. And that scent will lead the dog back to the master. No matter, you can leave the dog wherever you want to, but if he can catch hold of the scent of his master, he can come back home. He will not get lost. So what is the scent of the master? Who is the master? The master is the consciousness. And that what is the scent of the master we have? That is the I am in every thought which rises. Bhagavan Ramana says, leave the object part, question, hold on to the subject part. If you think, when a thought arises, I am seeing something beautiful, ask, who is seeing? Seeing is an essence experience which is translated into a thought. And then, whose thought is it? Whose thought is it? It is my thought. So, when you turn the attention back to the I part by asking, who am I? You forget about the seeing. You forget about the thought. You forget about seeing, right? When I'm asking, who am I? I'm not going to be worried about what I'm seeing and what I'm not seeing. If I'm worried about what I'm seeing, I'm not asking, who am I? But when I ask, who am I? I'm not worried about what I'm seeing. I'm not worried about what I'm hearing. I'm not worried about any sense experience. I'm not worried about any of the thoughts that are arising. When I'm angry, and I recognize anger is a thought which has come to me. It has come to me now. But I am not the anger. Anger is an experience. It's a guest. It's a thought which has come in. It was not there all the time. I was not angry. I am not angry 24/7. No one is angry 24/7. Maybe even some people like to hold on to their anger for 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. Maybe, but even they were not born with the anger. Right? So there is, and then in any case, even in that 24 hours when they go to sleep, they don't have the anger. Whether they have to leave it and go to sleep. If they have to hold on to any experience, if we have to hold on to, we cannot even go to sleep. So we are ready to leave all our experiences and go into the sleep. So why do we want to hold on to these experiences? Why not try and see who is it that is experiencing all this? For whose sake we are building this entire facade of life? For whose sake we are doing every day, toiling so hard from morning till night to sustain this person? Sustain this person physically, sustain this person socially, sustain this person mentally. Try to prove that we are agile mentally, keep ourselves agile. For whose sake this entire empire? My sake. But who am I? If I do not know, then whose sake this entire empire? Tannai aridalindri pinnai edarihilan tannai arindidir pin enna uladariya. Tannai aridalindri pinnai edarihilan. If you have not known yourself, says Ramana, if you have not known yourself, what have you known? What have you known? What is the use of all the knowledge in the world? He gives a story which I might have repeated earlier also in this forum. But it's a nice story. It's the story of all the knowledge that we can gather and gather and gather. So much of knowledge that we gather and so much of knowledge that we are meditating upon, ruminating upon, moment. As soon as we hear a noise, we say, oh, that's the noise of a car, that's the noise of a scooter, that's the noise of a bird, that's the noise of a lizard clicking, that's the noise of the phone ringing. Don't we tell ourselves, don't we think all this? That means, in effect, I'm saying, I know that's a bird, I know that's a lizard, I know that's the phone, I know that's the car, I know. All the knowledge that we have gathered, and we are reiterating it, repeating it to ourselves all the time. For what purpose? Without even knowing who the I is who knows. Without tasting the self. Of what use is it to taste all the objects in the world? So Ramana gives the story. He says there was this Roma Maharishi. The Roma Maharishi, Roma means hair actually. When all the 4 yugas would pass, one hair of his head would fall. And he had plenty of hair. He was a rishi and he had he was quite a lot of hair on his head. And that was his lifespan. So imagine his lifespan. And then he decided that he must master the Vedas. The 4 Vedas are there. They are so glorious. I must learn what is there in the Vedas. So he started studying, and the end of his lifespan was nearing. And he prayed to God, oh God, I have not even finished mastering one Veda. Please give me one extension of life, one extension. Okay, so he was given one extension of life. And at the end of that one extension, he had still not completed even one Veda. And then, so he prayed for one more extension. So this was his 3rd lifespan. And in the 3rd lifespan, he knew, because he's a Maharshi and such a senior Maharshi who has lived 2 lifespans, a 3rd lifespan. And he knew that he is nearing the end of his lifespan and he has not completed that task. So what is he doing? He is gathering knowledge and of one Veda he is not able to do. There are 4 Vedas and there are so many things. If you say everything is contained in the 4 Vedas also, there are 4 to be known, and he has not completed learning even one. And therefore he was about to, he said, tomorrow I think I should put in one more prayer for a 4th lifespan. That night he had a dream. In the dream, he saw 4 huge mountains of sugar. 4 huge mountains of sugar and one very big ant, a monstrous kind of ant, huge ant. And what was this ant doing? The ant was taking the sugar from, there are 4 hills, no, of sugar. It is quickly taking the sugar from one hill and putting it to its home, taking it, putting it into its home, putting it, shifting the sugar from one mountain of sugar. It is shifting it to its home. This is the dream. And when he woke up, he became realized, at least he knew what he had to do. He recognized that instead of shifting the knowledge, which is there, from there to here, if the ant had tasted even one small piece of sugar, whenever it is there, if it kept on tasting the sugar, what purpose is there in shifting that hill to its home if it is not going to taste it? What is the purpose of that sugar being there? The purpose is to taste it. And the self is so loving. The self is not only Satchit Ananda, it is Prema. It is Priya. That Ananda is of the nature of love. The bliss of the self makes us in love with ourselves. Each one of us, says Bhagavan Ramana, everyone is in love with himself because the self is of the nature of love. It is of the nature of bliss. So it is bliss and it is love. And it is, because it is love, it is available 24/7 to one and all. There are no restrictions. I often feel that if the self had been an object that was to be seen, it would have been less compassion, less of grace on the part of the self, because somebody who does not have eyes to see, or somebody who loses their eyesight, cannot see the self after that. Same with any of the sense organs. Anybody may have any of the senses intact or not have them. The self is available. Somebody may be intelligent, not intelligent, self is available. Somebody may be well-read, not well-read, self is available, because it is not dependent even on discrimination. It is available. But what does discrimination do? Discrimination helps us to understand. The pure chitta helps us to understand that this is it, that the self is there. It is available. It is available, and it alone is valuable. It's alone lending meaning to everything. Because the self is, everything is glorious. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Everything is dear because of the self shining in all things. This becomes evident to us as we try to seek the self, or as we do whatever sadhana the Supreme decides to bless us with. Whatever sadhana it is, it does not matter, says Ramana. Though he does give us the very special way of self-inquiry, but he also says that if we are one-pointed, if we dedicate ourselves so intensely in any sadhana that will take us selfwards, then it will take us. But the point is to be intense, to long for it. In another verse where he replies to a question as to who are you, Ramana? Who are you? Are you Shiva? Are you Vishnu? Are you Subramanya, Shiva Guru? Who are you? And Bhagavan answers, Ariyadi itara jeevara dahavarija guhayil arivairavi paramatman Arunachala Ramanan. Arunachala Ramana is the awareness. It is the consciousness shining in the hearts of all beings. Shining in the hearts of all beings as the self. Arivairavi paramatman Arunachala Ramanan. In whom? In all beings. Hariyadi, right from the Lord Vishnu, it shines. It is the heart of Vishnu shining as I. It is the heart of all beings shining as I. But Ramana does not stop there. He says, you can reach it. Parival ulamuruhanala paranarndidu. With lot of love, with your heart melting with love, turn towards it. Turn towards the heart cave. Within you it shines. Yes, you are within it. but it is so loving that it wants to reveal itself to everyone. Therefore, since I have limited myself, since one has limited oneself to the body, it shines within the body as well. Because where is it not? It shines within the body, and it specially shines in the heart. To make itself more evident, it specially shines in the heart. So turn attention with love towards the heart within you, the spiritual heart, the heart which says, I. Something within you which is saying, I. Turn to it with love, says Bhagavan. Parival ulam uruha nala paranarndidu guhayarthu ariva vidi tirava. Then that awareness which appears to be hidden, its I, the E-Y-E-I, its I will open. Arivam vidi tirava nijamarivai. You will know the truth. Adu veliyam. That is just the infinite space. Adu veliyam. This will be revealed, says Bhagavan, by that infinite grace which is shining in every one of us. As I, may it reveal itself to all of us. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Once again, I wish to thank Meditation and Study Circle, Vani and Vasudevji, for giving me this lovely opportunity to share Bhagavan's teachings with so many, what we call in our artistic language, Sahridayas. It is important to share with Sahridaya. Sahridaya is one who is one at heart with us. So when we share with one at heart, the sharing is, it is just automatic. There is nothing, it is not that I have to speak. Anyone can speak. Actually, we know the story of Jnaneshwar, making the wall also walk and riding on the wall. So what is there when Bhagavan says everything is Chetana? But it happens that he shines within all and receives. But there is a presence which is felt when there is Sahridayatva. I would also take this opportunity to invite all of you to the Ramana Maharshi Shrine near Makery Circle, and do come whenever the COVID situation permits you. The shrine is now open, but whenever you feel comfortable, because I know many people don't feel very comfortable about going out. And also, please do join us online as well in the Ramana Maharshi Center's programs. All of you are welcome to join us in all our online programs which are ongoing. And actually, very beautifully, Bhagavan has made it in such a way that the general programs, there is no clash. We have online meetings from Wednesday till Sunday, and meditation and study circle are typically Monday and Tuesday when we do not have the meetings. So if you feel free, you can join us. Any one of you can join us online as well. You can, I can ask Revati to leave her number on this call, on this meeting, or otherwise, anyhow, Vaniji and Vasudevji have our contacts. So anyone of you who is interested in being part of this can certainly join us. Thank you so much once again.
Shardaji, I think that was amazing discourse. It was like the river Ganga flowing from the mountaintop, so relentlessly moving, and so clearly elucidating Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's teachings, using so many different languages, so many of his compositions, translations of his compositions, moving effortlessly from Sanskrit to Tamil to Kannada to English. So it was a joy to watch and be a part of your satsang, and so wonderfully driving the point home that The self is awareness. The self is awareness, which is available to all. There is nothing but the self. There is only the self, and everything else is just a temporary appearance on it. It is like a dream which comes and goes. But the self, the I, is eternal. It has no birth, no death, no change, no decay, no old age. It is there forever and ever. And that is our true nature. So I think it was a truly amazing discourse, starting from Vigrahendriya, along with that small skit and presentation with Ujjwal, which made it also a very unusual and lively satsang for all of us. I think we offer our pranams to you, all of us, for this truly amazing journey on which you have taken us, the journey of awareness, from awareness to abide as awareness. Thank you so much. Also to Ujjwal for his lovely presentation and his to and fro dialogue with you, adding his own cute touches. I think that was really beautiful, Ujjwal. Thank you so much. Our Pushpa Vrishti clap to Dr. Sarada and to Ujjwal. And we are so happy that RMCL is so much a part of Meditation and Study Circle. It is like seamless. I often feel that sometimes when we call each other, it is like we have been thinking about the same things. Or if I go to RMCL to give a talk, I find the color of sari they've all decided to wear, I'm in the same color, though I didn't know anything about it. So there is a kind of seamlessness that Bhagwan Ramana seems to give to the rapport between Meditation and Study Circle and RMCL. So deep felt gratitude to you, Dr. Sarada. And if there are any questions, we have a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. You can either post your questions on the chat, or you can raise your hand and then speak, or you can just unmute and talk.
Dr. Sarada Madam, your lecture is so good. And as you are telling some movie, you are seeing the movie. As you have depicted, Ujjwal depicted now eyes, what they do. Like that you depicted it. But still have one thing to understand. At the end, I got that Chit and Ananda are the things which make us for self-awareness. Is it true?
Chit and Ananda are the nature of the self. They do not make self-awareness. They are the nature of the self. Chit is awareness or consciousness. We call it awareness, we call it consciousness. So the self, we all know we exist, right? We don't have any doubt that we exist. And we don't have any doubt also that we are aware. But we see the two as different. I say I am aware of myself. Why? Because I think the self is different and awareness is different. I make them two entities. I make the self into an object, body or something, and I make awareness separate. So I say I know myself, or sometimes I say I don't know myself. But both are not true, says Bhagwan Ramana, because self is the consciousness. There is no second person to say I know myself, and there is no second person to say I don't know myself. That itself is the self.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you, Sarada.
Thank you, madam.
There is one question in the chat box by Venkateshwaralu. Are the observed and observer are both Brahman, Atman and same, or are they different? I'm not able to clearly make out. Sri Venkateshwaralu, if you are there, you can unmute.
Yeah, I think he is the one who asked this question also, right?
No.
That was another person? Okay.
Yeah. That was Dr. Venkatachalapati.
Venkatachalapati, Anur, yes. Venkateshwaralu, okay. It is self, see, Atman, Brahman, they're all names for the self. They're different names. No, somebody is calling me Dr. Sharda, somebody calls me doctor, somebody calls me Akka, somebody calls me Sharada, somebody may have another name by which they call me. They're all names, but they are the same. They are different names describing the same Anubhava. Ramana says to Paul Brunton, some people call it Nirvana, some people call it Mukti, some people call it heaven, and we call it the self, he says. I hope that answers the question. The experience itself doesn't have a name. The name is what we give to it. It is beyond name. Actually, there's one very sweet Hindi film song, a romantic song, if I may say. Sing it. हमने देखी है इन आँखों की महकती खुशबू, हाथों से छू के इन्हें रिश्तों के इल्जाम न दो, प्यार को प्यार ही रहने दो, कोई नाम न दो. It is. So let us experience it. Let anybody call it by any name. That is helpful till we know it.
So I think wonderful answers also to the questions.